Happy Friday, Denver, and thanks again for joining us here on the Mile High Life Network, your premier location for all of the great podcasts here in the Mile High City. If you're watching us on YouTube, we certainly appreciate that, but be sure to give us some love also on the audio platforms as well. And while you're over there on the audio platforms, definitely check out the Fricashinas. They play us in and play us out every single week. We love the Fricashinas. And the weekend starts right here with us at Happy Friday. My name's Kevin Batstone. I'll be emceeing this episode, and I'm joined by my good friends, as always, in the fun seat tonight, Mr. Arthur Roth.
I'm in the fun seat, and I'm feeling freaky on a Friday.
Freaky on a Friday is the best way. And, of course, running the ones and twos, Mr. John Ekstrom.
I thought this was fucking Friday. Why am I working? This is some horse shit, and I'm protesting, but goddamn it, we'll have some fun anyway. I will do my best. Kev, kick us off.
Let's go, boys. So the year is half over. It's half over. Art, you got something here that you want to talk about with these New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're at the halfway mark. I was kind of drilling this home at the beginning of this year, so I felt like what a better time to bring this back up. Like, are people out there actually fulfilling their New Year's resolutions? And so, quick conversation on this. You know, I'm curious. I don't know the numbers on this, but how many people out there do you think actually saw it through? How many people out there do you think quit over after the first week? You know, and potentially, what's your advice to help people achieve a happy lifestyle? Like, so it's kind of like, you know, let's start it off like that.
Yeah. Do you think it's like a numerical value or like a percentage of people that are sticking with it?
I would say like percentage.
I would say 33.
Of the people who actually
third.
had New Year's resolutions, you think 33%
I think
of
a third
people
are
did.
still doing it. Yep.
I
Okay.
cheated because I looked it up. What do you think, Art?
Oh, okay, John. Of course you did, John. I'm gonna say that.
What can I say?
that, like-
I'm the nerd. I'm the Poindexter of this show, so I have data for you.
Oh,
if you like.
that's actually really awesome.
This is good.
So I'm gonna say maybe around 20% of people did it.
You're both fucked because the number is 9%.
Oh, really?
Generally, 80% of people quit before January is over.
Okay.
So that's 4/5 of the people right there. 9% achieve their goals that they set out to in the middle or you know, by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 9%. But now, don't get glum about this because one of the shows I produce is Dr. Sheryl's Podcouch. It's one of the best shows out there. She's an amazing psychotherapist. She talks about all things anxiety, parenting, all sorts of things. But she has some tips here for how to achieve better New Year's resolutions. 1, start small. Make it small. 2, make it measurable. So don't be nebulous. I want to lose weight. How about I want to lose 2 pounds per week? I'm going to try that, right? 3, let it be known. Tell other people. Make yourself accountable, right? Number 4, build in some cheat days. Like, allow yourself to backslide a little bit. That'll help you keep your sanity. And number 5, make them relatable. So don't go completely obscure off the reservation here. Make them a little bit relatable. So those are her 5 tips. I think they're really good. She's phenomenal.
like that.
Check out Dr. Sheryl's Podcouch.
Those are great tips actually, because I think people shoot too much. Like, I'm quitting drinking, I'm quitting smoking as of January 1.
That's huge.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah, that's enormous.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I agree with all those, and I've actually practiced a lot of those, and it's had success. But also, I think New Year's resolutions are actually ridiculous. Like, it's like, why do this at this point in time of the year? Oh, it's New Year, new me. You could be a new you today.
Yeah,
agreed.
So that's kind of my mentality on it. That's one thing I would add to the list. The sixth item we could say is start whenever you're ready. You don't need to follow any trends. Whenever it feels right and as it comes, right?
Sure.
So that's my thoughts on that.
I mean, you turn the page on the calendar. That's why most diets start on Monday. You turn the page, new year, new me. Okay, that's fine. But it's also, to your point, arbitrary.
Yeah.
You don't have to be beholden to that. That's ridiculous, right? That's just, that's something that you're doing, that you're manufacturing, right? It's an easy way of sort of getting in the mental frame of mind for it, but unnecessary, I agree.
Yeah, it's putting too many parameters on it, I feel like, and too much of a strict timeline. I think we even talked about this on our New Year's special, going back to sometime around January 1 when we launched there. We talked about New Year's resolutions and kind of what we thought about it, and it seems to hold the same amount of weight as we were here in July. Hard to believe, guys. We're in July.
Already half over.
Yep, and I'll tell you this. Cool thing going on here in Denver in July and August is RTD, just like they did last year, they decided to do it again. Zero fare for better air. It's an initiative. They're giving free RTD rides, public transportation. Definitely take advantage of that. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're trying to go down and see a Rockies game or you're going to go visit whoever, take some public transportation. Leave the car at the house.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. I mean, I'm not in practice of taking public transportation, but I'm also chauffeuring my kids around a lot.
Yeah,
that's true.
And so, like, that's logistically hard.
Yeah, that's tough on public transportation, too.
So, but what I will say is where I use it the most is probably going to the airport. I love the A line. So if the A line's free, man, fucking A. Like, that's bonus.
It's going to be packed, though, I have to think. You know, the more people.
I don't know, man.
Know
how successful has this been in the past?
I mean, it did well last year. I mean, they estimated they did about $10.3 million worth of what would have been revenue was given away for free. I think it's a great program. I really do. And I don't know how many people really know about it. I mean, how well is this being advertised? Are you seeing it on the buses? Hey, free for July and August. I mean, I think it's just you kind of have
free advertising right here.
Yeah. Here you go. RTD, take it.
Yeah, during some of the busier times of the year, too, people will get out and want to use it more often. I highly suggest people get involved with this, and it's also a lot of fun. Like if you live in Parker, for example, you go to Lincoln and I-25, and then you take the RTD down. Like it's cool. You get to see some sights, get to see the city, kind of relax. So public transportation can be fun. I support it.
Well, and if you're indulging in these, I mean, party bonus, right?
Huge bonus. Yeah, I mean, if you're downtown and you need to get home, I mean, I live way off Lincoln and 25. You know, if I was downtown doing partying or something, that's a free ride home for me, basically. So
get on the light rail and then take a quick Uber.
Quick Uber, I can even walk it out from there.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
It's a good initiative. But I will say I'm not the biggest fan of public transportation. I wouldn't call it a phobia of mine, but I'm not the biggest fan. John, you got something about phobias here.
Oh, dude. So I was just thinking about this because I don't know about you guys, but 4th of July was a shit night of sleep for me. Because there were tons of people just lighting off fireworks. There were storms. My God, the storms! Did you guys hear the storms?
It was crazy.
I thought fireworks were still going.
I couldn't tell.
Until I looked outside, I was like, "It's raining and thunder out." I thought people were still lighting
all night.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my dog is too stupid to care about any of those noises. She's just too oblivious. It's great. My kids don't like the sound of the storms. Yeah. Phobias. Let's talk phobias.
Okay.
Do you guys have any sort of irrational phobias? What are we afraid of here?
You know, the usual suspects are like snakes, spiders. Those things don't really bother me. As I've gotten older, I wouldn't say it's a phobia, but heights are starting to get me a little bit. They make my feet sweat.
Oh, dude. Heights is one of those things where if I'm like, I have this fear that my body is going to act independent of my brain and just heave itself off this bridge or this building or whatever. Like, it's like, no, we don't want to do this. My body's like, fuck it, let's try it. I'm just afraid that my body's going to act independently of my brain.
It has to be a specific location, I feel like, because like when I'm climbing in an airplane and you see the ground growing, further away from you, that doesn't bother me.
Oh, no, that doesn't bother me.
But like when I see those videos of those guys on top of skyscrapers in Dubai, it like makes me sweat.
No, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I live in a very tall building and go up to the roof sometimes, and there's areas where it's a straight drop. There's other areas where there's like a metal protection thing, and if you look over on that straight drop, it gives me tingles. It like gives me weird tingles. But a phobia of mine, and I'm gonna say this is because I've had nightmares about this.
Yeah.
It's extremely unorganized, absolutely chaotic clutter in a household.
Oh yeah.
Like just
I don't care for that either.
Like just absolutely everything. Like if you want to clean your house, it's gonna take 2 whole days. Like that kind of cluttered mess that gets me a little bit. And cords. Like cords. Like an extension cord. Like if people don't put away an extension cord, I don't know if that's a phobia or just like
it's more of a pet peeve, I feel
more of a pet peeve. Can that be a phobia, twisted cords?
You could be scared of twisted cords.
I don't know.
I hurt myself on an escalator when I was a kid, so I was real nervous getting on escalators for a while.
Okay.
And I didn't get like sucked under or anything. I just slipped as I was stepping up one, and I hit my knee right into like that fucking jagged.
Yeah.
And so that was not fun when I was a kid.
You bleeding?
No.
Yeah, mall security guard had to come and help me and everything. It was, fucking...
Damn.
Yeah, Paul Blart up there putting a Band-Aid on young little John. But, okay, so I got some phobias for you guys that I looked up. Let's see if you can guess what these are. First one, papophobia.
Papophobia. Is that the fear of paper?
Nope.
That's what I was going to... It's a mushroom fear.
It's a fear of the Pope.
Oh. Okay.
So like papacy, papal.
All right.
If we're doing our root words here. Okay, here's another one. Metrophobia.
Fear of the city.
Fear of the city?
Yeah, I was going to say like being on like a metro.
That is fear of poetry. So,
oh wow, fear of poetry.
Yeah, I don't know how that manifests. Or someone starts reciting poetry, you start getting freaked out.
It like freaks them out, like how the words go together.
Who
and
knows?
The cadence.
Okay, here's one. Arachibutyrophobia. Oh Jesus.
Oh boy.
Arachibutyrophobia.
Oof. Arachibutyrophobia.
Arachibutyrophobia.
Arachibutyrophobia. Is that the fear of foreign insects?
Okay, good guess.
I don't even.
Art doesn't even know?
I don't even know.
Okay, everyone, this one is fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
it's very, very specific.
The fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof. I mean, it's never a good experience.
No, as someone who loves peanut butter, not an altogether unwelcome one for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I have one last one. Neither of
Okay.
you have this one. Okay? This is Venustraphobia.
Venustraphobia. Is that the fear of wine?
Okay? No, that would be onophobia.
Okay.
Venustraphobia.
Think of Venus,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to do with space.
Does it have to do with women?
Yeah.
The fear of vagina.
No?
Oh.
Fear of beautiful women.
Oh, wow.
So I think every 13-year-old boy has that in some way or another.
Yes.
But you get over that, right?
Yeah,
You do.
some do, or we hope most do, because some men
One
are
would
still
think.
pretty afraid of it into their later adulthood. We talked about that in discussion combustion last night.
Yeah.
Weird
That
phobias.
was a good. That was a good list, John.
Yeah. So I looked
That was
up
a good
some
list.
obscure ones. Obscure? So obscure ones. All in good fun.
You
All
sound
right.
like me, John.
What do we got next?
Well, so on the phobias, I just have to tell you guys before we move on. Dale Earnhardt Jr., right, my guy,
Oh, right, yeah.
love you. He has a fear of jewelry.
Of jewelry.
Jewelry.
It scares him. He's terrified of jewelry, so he can't. Like his wedding band is like rubber. He's got like one of those. Like he can't. Like he doesn't want his wife wearing jewelry because he's afraid of it.
Weird. All right.
I've never
That's
heard
a
that
good
before.
one.
I've
Is
never
he
heard
a
that.
hairy guy? Like, has he got his hair caught in the jewelry before? And like
Junior's,
that's,
I mean, he's kind of. I don't know,
Maybe
but
that's why.
he's afraid of jewelry. Love you, Junior. Not trying to throw you under the bus, but that's that's what it is.
Dale
So-
Jr., big listener here.
He is. Thank you, Junior. Appreciate that. So we're going to shift gears here a little bit. No pun intended on racing. Not such a great story here, Art. But look, we talked about something like this 2 weeks ago on Happy Friday. What you got?
Yeah, this one's a sad one. So, but we did talk about it just a couple weeks ago, and that is respecting our animals and making sure that we don't leave them in these hot cars. We even went over temperatures and how hot it could get in the vehicles. Somebody at a golf course, unfortunately, they left their animal, a German Shepherd, in the car. Bystanders did break a window, started performing CPR on the animal after they noticed it was distressed, but they were not able to save the animal. So it's really sad news, and just shame on this person. And so what's happening is they will have to go to court. A summons was issued. I don't feel like that's like enough of a punishment. Like an animal lost its life because of this person's being selfish and neglectful.
Well, dude, I looked at this story.
Yeah.
Motherfucker went golfing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's golfing.
From 8:45, he came back at 1:10, and you're leaving your dog in the car, man. Fuck right off with that.
I agree.
Like no fucking way. That is just that's stupid at best, and malicious at worst. So
Unacceptable.
I agree. No, this is fucking terrible. This is a tragedy.
Yeah. So how do we properly punish these people? Because what, he's gonna get summoned and then
get a
probably have to
fine.
pay some fees and maybe do community service. Like there needs to be a way to like put these people on a list where
Yeah.
like you can't purchase animals anymore.
I would agree with that.
Like you've
I'm
lost
down
your
for that, yeah.
privileges. Like, but how do you implement that? I don't know, man. I don't think it's strict enough. But
Yeah, no.
you know,
If you
it's too
commit
bad.
animal cruelty like that, let alone the animal dying, of course, you should absolutely be on a list. The same way that people that get a domestic violence can no longer buy a firearm. Those things have
Yes.
to be enforced.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sad story, but another quick reminder, like, let's take care of our animals out there. If you ever see anything like that, a dog out there, call the local departments immediately and
Well,
get them out there to help.
Dude, and Colorado is one of 15 states where you are allowed to legally break someone's window if you see a dog or an animal locked in a hot car.
Yeah.
Literally, that's legal. I mean, with some parameters there.
Yeah.
You can't, like, there's some rules that you have to abide by, but ultimately you can do that.
Yeah,
So,
sad story for sure. We try to keep it happy here on Happy Friday, but just good to bring, mention to that again. It's hot outside, guys. Mind your animals. Definitely be careful with that. Another story here about dogs. We had one rescued off Torrey's Peak last weekend. I saw the image of it. It was on the trail. It slipped down the mountain a little bit and was in such a difficult position. It had to be rescued. So the Alpine rescue team was called in to rescue this animal. No injuries to the dog. Obviously
good.
the dog was extremely stressed out. They were able to get it back to the owners. So shout out to the Alpine rescue team, and just an incredible story.
well, what's interesting is you said that dog was extremely stressed out, but when they picked her up, she was extraordinarily calm, according to the news story.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the video, did you see any of the
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it looked like the animal was freaking out.
Oh, sure, but
You know,
like
it's
on the way
what-
down.
Yeah, like what do I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, they said the breathing was calm, didn't see any noticeable injuries to the animal, was returned back to the owners, which is incredible. And there's still snow up there too, at the elevation that this animal was rescued.
Well, given
at.
this summer, I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So.
I mean, we're in July and we're still snow on the 14ers.
Yeah, so this is how Happy Friday does. We might hit you with some grim, but then we hit you with the same type of thing, but positive. And, big shout out to all the rescue crews, everybody out there who helps out with stuff like that.
Yeah,
man.
it's great.
Why don't you take it then?
I will. So a driver was rescued. We all know Tuesday on the 4th, there was a lot of raining happening. It started dumping that day. And so right around 38th and Fox Street, there was flooding, and our fire department actually saved some people from the flooding in their vehicles. So since we're kind of talking, this unfortunate incident with this dog, the rescue off the 14er, and people out of the floods, big thanks to all the fire, paramedic, and police that keep Denver safe and keep cities safe across the nation. I wanted to really just take a moment to thank all the service people, everybody who helps us and sacrifices themselves to keep us all safe and keep this city running.
Well, Art, 100% on that. But I will say, in this article, it actually has to say, warning, don't drive into flooded roads. And you go, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Don't drive onto flooded roads. It's like, a lot of people are just looking at that going, yeah, I can make that.
Now, have either of you ever seen a flooded road area and you're like, I can make this?
No.
And you
No.
did it? And you went to go do it?
Now,
No.
the only remotely close time was when I was in my buddy's pickup truck that was lifted. It was like,
Oh, sure.
we're like, yeah, we could probably make this. And even that was coming, it was cutting it close.
Well-
we had water coming in through the doors.
Well, dude,
really?
if you have a Jeep with a safari pack, that's one thing, where the exhaust is up
Right.
here. But if you get water up that tailpipe, you're going to shut your fucking car down. Like,
Yeah.
and that's not that high, dude. So
It's just not a smart decision.
No.
Yeah, so I guess the PSA would be, if you see a flooded road, I would say overanalyze how deep it is. Don't underestimate it. It's not safe to drive through.
Just turn around.
Just
Yeah.
turn around, find another route, pull over, maybe wait for some of the rain to subside a little bit. But shout out to all the rescue teams for sure. That's great.
Absolutely.
So, all right, John, you got some semi-mainstream sports news for us.
Oh, yeah, totally. So huge in America here, tennis. But what year is it already? 1986? Or we're talking about Andre Agassi and Michael Chang and, all the great American tennis players. There hasn't been one in forever. But my favorite way to celebrate the American holiday is by watching an English tennis tournament. Wimbledon is going on. It's one of my favorite events of the year. Real quick, here are my picks. This is for no one but me.
Okay.
So I like Dmitry Medvedev. He is the number 3 seed. He's from Russia. He's tall. He's amazing. Huge serve, huge forehand. And then on the female side, I like Iga Świątek. She's from Poland. She's the number 1 seed. During the rain delay, she was like doing puzzles and like Sudokus and stuff to keep her mind sharp.
I like it.
Other competitors were just sleeping.
Yeah.
But Iga, man, dude, she's a killer. So my question to you all is, I want to go to Wimbledon. Mostly I just want to go hang out in London because I hear going to Wimbledon is fun as hell.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be great. Are there obscure events from across the globe, doesn't even have to be sports related, that you sort of look at and you go, that would be a dope place to hang out. That's where I want to go.
Well, for me, of course, you guys, no surprise here. It's going to be a racing event. I'm going to Le Mans, France, to the 24-hour Le Mans,
Oh, yeah, 24-hour Le Mans. That's a
which
good one.
just happened a couple weeks ago. It's an incredible race. I definitely want to attend it.
Oh, that'd be cool, yeah. No, I'm
So
with you.
it does last 24 hours?
It's a 24-hour race.
So they got like multiple
From 4
shifts
p.m.
and
to
like
4 p.m.
like different crews that come in and like
Yep.
each go 4 hours.
You
or
usually have
something.
3 drivers, and they'll take 4-hour shifts. The guys sleep, they get rest. If you ever saw Ford versus Ferrari, I would recommend
Yeah.
that. It kind of highlights real well what that used to
Okay.
look
I
like.
have not seen that, but I heard
Oh,
that's a great dad movie.
It's such a good
It's
movie.
a really good movie. I did see that one.
I'd
Nice.
recommend it.
Cool.
Yeah. So obscure things. I think it would be fun to be at a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, like the professional.
Oh, like esports?
Yeah, going and seeing the gamers game and play hard on that. I also wouldn't mind for at least a month meditating with monks.
Oh, wow.
I think that would be so peaceful.
Do you have a spot in mind for that?
Like it would be cool to do it in like India or South Asia, like South China Asia, like out there.
Thailand.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, our monks are everywhere.
I
Well,
know
it
they're-
depends
they're-
on the denomination that you're seeking
Yeah,
to do
like
this with.
we have a monk church here in Denver. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Ninja Warrior. Go to like a Ninja
Oh, fun.
Warrior event and like see these people
Global
try
Ninja Warrior event.
Yeah, try to do the course. I think that would be fun.
I think one came to Denver. The American Ninja
while
Warrior
ago, yeah.
came through
Yeah.
Denver, and they were doing it through the night because it needs to be dark, and it was like 3 a.m. when the competitors were out there. But that would be cool to see.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Absolutely. And speaking of competitive events, Joey Chestnut just won his 16th mustard belt at the Nathan's National Hot Dog Eating Competition. First of all, this event is just incredible to begin with. Let's start there. that these guys are shoveling hot dogs down their throat as quick as they can, competitive eaters, right? This was the first year I actually watched it because I saw the build-up to it, and everyone's like, Joey Chestnut's the #1 eater in the world. And I'm like, is this guy going to defend the title? And sure enough, he did. He did it again. He ate 62 hot dogs, guys. 62 hot dogs. I just, in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, guys. I don't know. I mean, I ate hot dogs with my dad on 4th of July, my mom, and I ate 2 of them in 10 minutes. But granted, I wasn't trying to competitively eat. I mean, do you guys think you could do this?
No.
I couldn't.
No, hard pass.
Even I would not want to even train my body to be capable of doing that.
So for me, I don't watch this. I have in the past. It's horrifying. I showed it to my daughter, and maybe try. She'll tell it to a therapist one day. Then that'll be really fun. So that'll be good. But I watched True Life. I'm a competitive eater, and there was a guy named Tim Janist. He goes by Eater X.
Okay.
And he like paints his face like the Ultimate Warrior, which is really cool. But you watch him train, and me and my friend Jason will sometimes say to each other, like he's burping, but he's got he goes, ugh, the pudding sits right on the top. So it like creates this flap like where like the top of his stomach is. So it's hard to burp past the fucking pudding as his body is processing all this. And I'm like, this is one of the most horrifying things I think I've ever heard.
It just sounds like pure torture.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the competitive aspect of it, but here's what they're also washing it down with. Warm water.
Yeah.
Not room temp water, warmed water.
Well, no, because that's going to, cold water makes your throat close up.
Right. And it kind of breaks it down a little bit, the warm water.
Well, and they're dunking the buns in in it. And,
making it all soggy. It's pretty grotesque to watch, which, if you know me, I do like grotesque things, but even this gets me just a little bit alarmed at times watching some of this. I mean, they grab 2 to 3 at a time and basically just shoving them down their throat. And, this motion is, not what I want it to look like, but that's what they're doing.
Thank God it was on camera.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
So, I mean, incredible, though. I mean, shout out to Joey Chestnut. This guy, he beat, the Big Mac eating competition, which we looked at. I mean, 32 Big Macs in 38 minutes. Think about that.
It's.
I'd rather not, Kev, but thanks.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that, John, you don't like it because it's almost too ridiculous to exist.
Oh, too stupid to exist.
Yeah,
well played.
it's
All
too
right.
stupid
Okay,
to
I can handle that. Yeah.
So I'm surprised it's not right up your wheelhouse.
No, it's just ick. That's all I can say is
So
ick.
what is a record that y'all would like to hold? Like if you were to hold a record, what would you want it to be, and what would your record be that nobody could beat?
Probably a fastest lap time at a track somewhere.
Yeah.
I think one that I could hold would be undefeated in WWF No Mercy on the N64.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't even know if I would attempt to challenge you.
Yeah, no, I'm good at it. So,
nice.
Other than that, one I would like to hold, I don't really give a shit. I'm not empire building.
Yeah.
What do you got, Art? You must have something up your sleeve.
I mean,
Smash Bros. Champion?
I mean, that would be cool, but if I was really to hold a record, it would be for the most amazing lover.
World's greatest lover.
All right.
Move over Wilt Chamberlain.
The world's greatest lover. I just don't know about all that. So we're going to move on here. John, we got some sad news.
Yes.
R.I.P. Alan Arkin.
So we just missed the deadline on this last week as we were recording. Alan Arkin, one of the greatest to ever do it. Just any time he showed up in a movie, I was always like, fuck yeah, Alan Arkin's in this one. I love Alan Arkin. But he died at the age of 89. He won an Oscar for Little Miss Sunshine in 2006. He was amazing in Argo. I have a favorite line from that I'll reserve until we get there. But, I mean, he was memorable in everything. He was the dad in Edward Scissorhands. He was in Glengarry Glen Ross. Mm-hmm. And he was my favorite part in sort of a mediocre movie in The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Did you guys see that one?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, no, most people haven't. Mm-hmm. But there's a moment where he makes like a dove appear out of a salt shaker that just blows Steve Carell's mind. And the way the scene is played, it's pure movie magic horse shit. Like, I fucking love that scene. And it's all because Alan Arkin sells it with the way only Alan Arkin can. And so do you guys, Alan Arkin, just an iconic actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have favorite moments?
So there was a couple movies, because I knew the usual suspects we were going to talk about, of course.
Sure.
But the Change Up that came out in 2011, he played Ryan Reynolds' dad in that movie, and it was such a low key character, but it added so much value to it when you learned what Ryan Reynolds' character was.
He adds texture to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Stand Up Guys with Christopher Walken.
Oh, interesting.
Which
I
was
haven't
a
seen
fantastic movie. It's about a bunch of old gangster mob guys that end up getting out of prison, years and years later, and then they're back together for one more job.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I feel like I did see that. So I really, at times, I wish that my pop culture was a little bit better. So I'm going to kind of pivot on my questions on this because I do want to...
Wait, before you do that, I got one for you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so the movie The Rocketeer, have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, so he's in that. It's when they thought we wanted superhero movies to look like 1940s, like serial adventures.
Which, I mean, that was an awesome movie, though.
It is, but it was a weird sort of like, these should really take place in the 1930s and 40s. And you go, it's 1991. Why the fuck would we want that? Like, it makes no sense. But he was in that. I thought maybe that one would catch your eye. I know you're a comic book guy, so.
Yeah, no, it's... I did look up some stuff on him, but my question is, what really makes a good, authentic actor? Like, and did, Alan, was he kind of playing like the same type of role? Like, what made him?
No, he was.
So he was diverse. He was really diverse. So it's like, what makes like an actor really, really good in all these different diverse roles, and what makes them stand out? Like, and that, like, I guess that's kind of my question. And it's not like we have an answer, but can hypothesize on it a little bit.
Well, can they extract meaning from all these disparate places, right? Where, like in Little Miss Sunshine, he's the heroin snorting grandpa. And he is so funny. He's talking to the teenage kid. He goes, don't fuck one woman, a lot of women. Fuck a lot of women. And he's just telling this to a teenager, and you're going, dude, this is a grandpa who doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's a character you can look at and go, man, that guy is, like, I may not like him. I may not relate to him. He does some questionable things in that movie. But you go, I know who that guy is. If they can add texture to something that makes you go, ooh, I recognize that in someone that I know in my life, you can latch on to it a little bit more, and that's what makes it memorable to me.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, John. When you look at a good actor that can play, different roles and sell that role, I think that's when I say, oh, that was bad acting, it's because that person didn't convince me that they're that person, right? It just looked shitty. It wasn't believable, and I think it's a talent that some people either have it, they don't have it, but everyone's got their opinion when it comes to film criticism.
Well, and so Art, I'll answer this a different way. When I'm writing, you want someone to feel something. You are trying to evoke a reaction from them, and if you can find a moment of humanity, even if it's tiny, and you can extract meaning from it and then blow that out a little bit, that's when you're doing really great work. And I feel like Alan Arkin would find those moments, especially when, so like in the movie Argo, someone's asking him, and Argo's a fake movie. They're trying to get people out of Iran, these people trapped after they stormed the American embassy. And they go, well, Argo, what does it mean? What does it mean? He goes, well, it's a sci-fi movie about aliens. And it's like, no, but what does Argo mean? He goes, it means Argo fuck yourself, okay? And like that line makes me laugh every time I think about it. So like if you can make me laugh every time I think about you delivering a line, that's what I want.
So for these actors, I mean, we all know Heath Ledger after playing the Joker, and people question, did that role drive him to there? Like for the actors that really do get involved in the roles that they're playing and sell it extremely well, like they make you feel that emotion. I wonder how much each role has influenced their personality moving forward, right? Because they almost have to become that in order to sell it,
yeah,
right?
Does it take a piece of you?
Yeah. Or does it create more of you? Like you're a different you that you would have been if you would have never played that role.
Well, I think of James Gandolfini when you say that, playing Tony Soprano, of course. I mean, absolutely incredible role, incredible series on HBO. It was one of my favorite shows. But he was forever typecast as Tony Soprano. Everything he tried to do with that, all you could see was Tony. So again, going back to the acting, it takes an incredible skill, of course. And when you've done a series as successful as that, you're going to be typecasted. It's going to happen. So, shout out to the actors, and R.I.P. Alan Arkin for sure.
Yeah, one of the best to ever do it.
Is that writer strike still happening?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Still going, man. It's still going. It's going to cause a lot of delays.
Keep fighting.
Keep fighting the good fight. It's the weekend, guys. What do we got going on this weekend, John?
Okay, so a couple. Local band, Record Thieves, one of my favorites. They're playing with Better Than Dead at Herman's Hideaway. That's tonight at 7. That should be kick-ass. I've seen Record Thieves before. Those guys are killer. Coming up next week at Ball Arena, we're going to pivot from small show to big show. We've got Paramore playing with the Linda Lindas. If any of you have a last-minute concert ticket hookup, hit your boy John here, because I would love to go to that. That would be amazing. Tickets are very expensive. It's a ball show because, of course. So fucking A. But that's next Thursday.
That'd be cool, man. That looks like a good show.
On the 13th. Yeah, my kids are in School of Rock, and the Linda Lindas has a 12-year-old drummer, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're like it's 4 Asian American teenage girls creating awesome fucking punk rock. And they're opening for Paramore on their stadium tour.
You've mentioned
absolutely
them before.
incredible.
Oh yeah, no, I love them.
Yeah,
that's a whole
made some
thing
mentions.
for me.
Yeah, that's incredible. That'll be a fun show for sure. Well, if you're feeling like drinking some whiskey this weekend, we got the 3rd annual Colorado Whiskey Fest down at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. That seems like it could be some fun. Go down and taste some. I'm sure Woody Creek's going to be there. Stranahan's a lot of these local whiskeys, but that could be some fun, man. If you want to get a little tip on.
I'm sure it'll be fucking raining too.
Oh yeah,
so it'll be whiskey weather.
bring your raincoats. Bring your whiskey snooters. Have a good time.
Whiskey snooters?
Yeah.
What's a snooter?
It's like a tall shot glass.
Yeah.
A snooter?
Yeah.
It's like a little. Well, how would you describe the shape?
It kind of looks like a vase a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A vase.
But it's like
I like the way
small.
you said that. That was very fancy.
It's not very tall. It's not very tall. It's probably about that tall.
Okay, so okay, interesting.
Hey, I got one
Bring
thing.
your snooters.
I got one thing to
bring
throw
your
in
snooters.
to do this weekend. So this weekend, what I want everybody to do, if you're one of the 9%ers that's out there, go ahead and reach out to everybody else that has fallen off and tell them to get back on the fucking bandwagon and achieve their goals. For you 9%ers out there.
Yeah,
Yes.
not the 1%ers, not you biker gang fucks.
Yes, the 9%ers for sure. And, of course, we're going to include another great link down in the show notes for denver.org/events. So you can find out all the fun things that work for you. You know, we can only squeeze so much in here at Happy Friday, of course, on what to do this weekend. Click that link. Find out some fun things to do for yourself. You know, that's what we like to do around here. The weekend starts right here with us. And we appreciate everyone tuning in and supporting this podcast here at Happy Friday Denver on the Mile High Life Network. Be sure to show our compadres some love over there as well. Like, review, subscribe, whatever you want to do with the show. It's really your choice. You know, we're everywhere. Hit us up on social media at Happy Friday Den. Give us an email at happyfridaydenver@gmail.com. It's your day, Denver. Hit it, Justin.
It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, Happy Friday. And next up Friday night. Yeah, Friday night's alright. It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, Happy Friday. It's Friday, fuck yeah, it's Friday, yeah! Yeah, Friday!